What is a variable? In this video, I'm going to explain what a variable is, why we use them, and why they're actually pretty cool. I have a lot of students who say things like, well, I used to understand math until they started adding letters. But in this video, I'll show you that the letters are nothing to be afraid of. They're actually kind of cool, and let's just dive right in. So remember back in elementary school when you used to have problems like 3 plus blank equals 7. So just really simple problems like that where you just had to fill in the blank. Well, a variable is basically a blank. You can just think of it like that. So I could rewrite this equation like 3 plus x equals 7. So these two equations mean the exact same thing. X just means that there's a number there, and we don't know what that number is, so we need to figure it out. So back in elementary school, when you write your answer, you would just write something like fill in the blank. You would just put 4 right in the blank. In the second equation, the way you would write your answer is you would write x equals 4. So it's really just the exact same thing. You're just filling in the number, the unknown number. So let's talk a little bit about why a variable is called a variable. So if I take a number, for example, if I say 3, so it's just the number 3, something like this is called a constant because 3 has an assigned value to it. 3 is always valued at 3. So like if we think about objects, right? If we have 3 objects, that's the value of the number 3. It doesn't change. It's always 3. But if we have something like x, then that is a variable because the value of x is not always the same. It's not constant. It depends on the equation. So if we take our equation from earlier where we had 3 plus x equals 7, in that equation, the value of x was 4. But if we have another equation, like let's say 3 plus x equals 9, then in that equation, the value of x would be 6. So the value of x is not always the same. It changes depending on the equation. So that's why it's called a variable, because variable means changing. So whereas a number like 3 or 4 or 9 or 100 or 10 million, regular numbers are all constants because they always have the same value. A variable like x or y or z or whatever, it's called a variable because the value is changing depending on the equation. So let me explain real quick why we use variables instead of just blanks. Because you're probably thinking, well, in elementary school we just used a blank. Why can't we just keep using blanks? Well, let me show you an equation like this. Let's say we have 3 plus blank plus 4 minus blank equals 5 plus blank. Well, that's a lot of blanks. So something like that might be difficult to solve. But now if I take the same thing and I replace it with variables, let's say I have 3 plus x plus 4 minus y equals 5 plus x. Now here's something that's cool with variables. Because I used both x and y, so when you use variables, that means that these two x's are both going to be the same number. So maybe they're both 5s, or they're both 6s, or they're both 100s, who knows. But if I know that they're both x, then that means they both represent the same number. And that's something that you can't do with blanks. When you have blanks, you don't know which numbers are the same and which numbers are different. But when we use variables, then I know that those two numbers represented by x are both going to be the same number. So that's something that's pretty cool about variables. So that is just a brief overview of what a variable is and why we use them, and I hope that helps you understand that concept a little better. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe, and please comment below if you have any other math topics that you would like me to cover in a future video. Thanks for watching.